Cheers. Just to let you know, this is not wine. This is the new fizzy Ribena. Has anybody tried it? It's a bit weird because I've had it out and now it's gone flat and now it just tastes like normal Ribena. Who doesn't like normal Ribena? No. Anyway, cheers. It's December, yay! Which means I need to do the classic books that I read in the month of November. I actually read quite a bit in November, but I've only got 3 to share with you because all the rest feature in other videos. So classic crime book reviews, Third Mirabelle book reviews, Persephone book reviews, etc, etc, etc. You get the gist. So I have 3. Now I think I'm gonna chat to you in the order, like, least favourite to favourite, I think. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shake it up a bit, because usually I do it in the order in which I've read them, but I can't be bothered today. I want to change it up, so we'll change it up. Because it's December, let's go wild. Okay, that Ribena has gone straight to my head, hasn't it? Right, let's start with this one. This is Before Lunch by Angela Thirkell. This is I think it's book 8 in the series that she does, and it has the most beautiful covers. Virago are slowly but surely bringing out these beautiful editions of Angela Thirkell's work. This book is from the 1930s, 1939 to be precise, and in this book we have this man called Jack who lives in this nice big house, and his sister Lillian comes to stay, and she brings 2 stepchildren who kind of shake the dynamics of things a little bit, because there's like people that fancying other people and stuff like that, all things going on. I liked this. Angela Thirkell for me is not one of my favourite authors. I know it's quite sacrilege to say because I know so many people adore her. I do like her work, but I think I like it. I don't love it. I mean, I did really enjoy High Rising and Wild Strawberries, and for me, they remain, so far, the favourites in the series. But I do like her. She's very country, cosy, twee, and generally you pick up a book and you enjoy it. You know, it's a nice, easy, don't really think too much about it read. I do wish her chapters were a bit shorter though, because I'm a really slow reader, and sometimes, you know, when you've got a 60-page chapter, I know that's going to take me like an hour and a half to read, and I like to stop at like chapters, so I need to devote like an hour and a half to like one chapter. I'm like, oh dear. So anyway, yes, liked it. It's good. If you haven't read Angela Thirkell before, I would recommend it if you like that cosy country feel. It's very, very nice. But start with High Rising, because that's the first book in the series. Right, next one. I really love this. This was The Young Clementina by D.E. Stevenson. Again, a really beautiful cover. And this is about a woman called Charlotte who lives a very comfortable life in London, and then her sister kind of comes and shakes things up. But how this book is laid out is quite interesting, because right at the beginning we are told that Charlotte meets this stranger, and she's like, it feels like I've known her for years, it feels like she's a friend. She doesn't know her name, and so she makes up a name for her, and she's telling this made up name, this person, this stranger, and she's telling her story, and then we go back in time to Charlotte's childhood, where she grew up with her younger sister called Clementina, but known as Kitty, and how she kind of got her job and her house in London, and she lives this very modest life, and then Kitty comes back into her life. And now Kitty is like on and off in Charlotte's life. She kind of comes in when she needs something. She's not like a constant in Charlotte's life, and vice versa. They very much live very different lives, but I'll leave that for you to read. And yeah, Kitty comes in, asks for Charlotte's help, and off we go, drawn into the dilemma and the drama, and it's like, ooh, Now, I did really enjoy this book. I've read a book by D. Stevenson's before, which is Miss Bunkle's book, which I did enjoy. I know lots of people love it. I did like it, but I think I preferred this more, you know. Although I do definitely need to reread Miss Bunkle's book and carry on with this series, because I just read that book and then stopped, but it's actually a whole series. Anyway, I loved the writing. Dee Stevenson's got a wonderful writing style, hasn't she? Very cosy, very kind of talking to a friend sort of thing. And despite the fact that this book is like 344 pages or whatever it is, and this book is actually quite a bit bigger than like a normal book. Well, not quite a bit bigger, it is just generally bigger than like a normal book sort of thing, a little bit. Is it? Oh yeah, a little bit. Anyway, I'm going off tangent. Yeah, despite the fact that it's like nearly 350 pages, I absolutely raced through it and I just got swept up in the story, and it was just wonderful. It was like a friend telling me a story. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked the plot. It felt very different sort of plot to a lot of other things that I read. It's not the typical kind of women's fiction story of the time, and I really liked it. I can't wait to read more of D.E. Stevenson's work. This book is from, when are you originally from? 1938. And I love reading about books in the 30s, so I can't wait to read more from this period and around, and just generally her other work actually. I just want to read everything that she's written because I think she's a wonderful author. But I have to say, this book, I think this is an American edition because they spell colour without a U. And I know in America they spell colour without a U. And, oh, it does say US dollars on the back. $18.99 US dollars. I don't know if that is expensive. But the rest of the books in this beautiful editions are quite pricey, so yeah, gonna have to feel a bit spendy to get my hands on them, I think. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that one. Really good. Highly recommend it if you haven't already. I haven't heard many people talk about that book actually. And then last but not least, so my favourite book of the month was actually a reread, and it is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Oh. So this was one of my favourite books as a child. I loved this book as a kid so much. My copy that I had from a child, the pages are actually falling out of it because I read it that many times. But gardens were a very special place to me as a child. I loved gardens because my dad loves gardens, and so I spent a lot of time in a garden. And my dad used to do me like my little own, I had a little like veg patch myself, a little flower patch myself, and it was wonderful. But the thing about me is I have like a flower bit, you know, for the flowers for the house sort of thing, but I would never pick them because I always thought they looked so beautiful in the ground, so I'd just leave them there and just sit by them. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, I had a wonderful childhood and a wonderful garden, and loved this book so much. My dad used to read this to me as a child, and my mum, and when I was old enough to read back, I would read it back to them, and yeah, I have very fond memories of it. And then when I was older and I was ill, I had an eating disorder. This was one of the books that I first came to and actually made me well, just aid my recovery, I would say, and because gardens are magic, as Frances Hodgson Burnett says. And then I came across this beautiful edition of The Secret Garden. It's by Mina Lima. It's absolutely flipping stunning. And it has these bits where you can kind of pull out and stuff like that, like that's the house, and it has all this beautiful protective tissue paper over it, which is doing a really good job because I don't want to damage it, but has lovely pictures like this throughout too, and it's just stunning. And it was a really nice way to reread the story. I own, so do I own one or two other editions? No, at least two other editions of The Secret Garden, but I just can't get enough because it's just so beautiful. It was a little bit pricey, but I'm just going to keep this forever and ever and ever. It's just absolutely beautiful and yeah, stunning. This book, if you've never read it, because I know actually quite a few people haven't read The Secret Garden. They perhaps have watched a film of it, but I have to say there is actually a TV BBC adaptation that I think is better, but it's early. I think it's from the 1970s and it's wonderful, so go and check that out. But that's brilliant. The TV series, BBC. amazing. And yeah, so I think a lot of people probably have watched the film, but perhaps have not read the book. It's about this young girl called Mary Lennox, and she lives in India, and she lives a very lonely life. And it's one of those books where it really reflects that actually money doesn't buy you everything. Money certainly doesn't buy you happiness. And Mary Lennox is surrounded by servants, but she's not surrounded by her parents. Parents are off in parties and stuff. And there is a cholera epidemic that goes out in India, and everyone dies apart from Mary. Mary's the last one left. And the reason why she's the last one left is because she lives such a lonely little existence. And so she is sent off from India, and she's sent to her uncle's house in Yorkshire, Misselthwaite Manor. And that house is full of secrets, and a secret garden too. And we learn that gardens are magic, and they can really help you through some dark times. And oh, it's wonderful. So if you've never read it before, just prepare yourself for that racist language. But there is a wonderful meaning behind the story. And yeah, other than that, it's wonderful. So there we have it. Those were the 3 classic books that I read in the month of November. Chat to me in the comments what classic books you read in the month of November. I am intrigued, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Take care. Bye.